I still think, the problems can only be solved as by men, by us changing, by us focusing for the better. Because I think it
For
starts
sure.
within, because like I said, purpose. For me, I think I can say it's the deal breaker, for substance, in humanity. Because if you focus on your purpose, you have substance. In as much you might not be good, like for me, I'm not a good speaker, I know, but substance will take you far. Purpose will take you far. People want to engage with purpose. People want enlightenment.
Welcome to the Enrichment Project, Path to Purpose, recorded by the mad talent at Solid Gold Podcasts. It is a series of unfiltered and insightful conversations with some of the most remarkable purpose-driven human beings who have all achieved, created, inspired, triumphed, or challenged, and we have a great deal to learn from them. It is a quest to uncover and articulate the steps along the way to help you on your own journey of purpose. I am your host, Richard Wright, and I am delighted to have you with me. Thank you for the gift of your time. Let's dive straight in. Welcome everyone to another episode. Today I'm really delighted to have an artist that I admire greatly. One of those people you see the art and immediately you're attracted to it. Some of the most evocative art pieces I think I've ever seen. South African contemporary artist. His name is Greatjoy. And Greatjoy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for hosting me.
Great. So just obviously the first thing I wanted to know is the Greatjoy. Where did the Greatjoy name come from?
The Greatjoy name is my second name in my birth certificate. So I was I come from a Christian family. So the story of Christ when Christ was born, there's a section in the Bible where it says there was great joy in the house of the Lord. So that's where the name.
Oh, I love that. So the full name is Njabulo Greatjoy Ndlovu, right?
Yeah.
And you were born in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe?
Yeah. I was born in Bulawayo, Matabeleland.
And tell me the inspiration. The inspiration for art, I know it started quite young, right? You went to go and study art straight from school. Where did that very first idea of I want to create, I want to be an artist, I want to draw, how old were you when that first started?
From my primary, from my primary times, when I was at school, primary school. So, motivation which was around me was so huge, because I top student when it comes to, doing drawings and stuff. So by the time after finishing up my primary school, I went to a boarding school. So that boarding school was mainly, an art school. Siren High in Matabeleland South. So there we had like national monuments, murals and stuff. So my love for art grew, time to time, because I was excelling in my studies, when it comes to, visual interpretation of my surroundings.
Visual interpretation of your surroundings. I love that.
Yeah.
So tell me, and your parents, were they both, when you were tiny, did they provide you things to draw with and encourage you from that point of view?
Yeah, they did. But when I was starting to mature, as in my teens, they started to discourage me because they didn't think that anyone can make a living out of it.
I love that. So that's why that is why I wanted you on the show, because there are going to be so many people that are listening to this, so many people that are watching this. And that idea is, so for me, I have to throw this in here. In fact, I've just realized this. So when I was at high school, standard 6 and standard 7, so that's now grade 8 and grade 9, I got the top marks in my school for both standards, for art and industrial art.
But ask me if I took art to matric. No. Why? Because my parents said, son, there's no money in art. We need you to take math, science, biology, geography, because those are the things that you, an engineer, a doctor, accountant, that's where the money is. So I didn't even take art, but yet it was my best subject. So I totally get that. And that argument, how did that argument end?
It was hectic because, the idea of job security was, their prime position when it came to, child development, because I was also, good in accounting and stuff. I wasn't good in language, but I was good in accounting and art. That was weird because I remember I wrote Cambridge exams. So my combination at A level was accounting, business studies, geography, and art, which was a weird combination because I didn't want to leave out art. I didn't want to leave out of my curriculum, which was weird for so many, and also for my family because they didn't see me as an artist, they didn't see me as a visual artist, but the passion which was within me, was leading me to the right direction, which is my purpose. Because I think, as a child, when you're still figuring out your purpose, it all goes to self-introspection. And self-introspection was something which I really honored because I didn't see myself, at an office space or white-collar job. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to share my views and my passion with the world. And I've been fortunate to have some success, to experience some success in this, which is something I'm grateful for.
So a couple of things I want to touch on then. Number one is I know that in your culture, children are wealth. So our children need to go and do something that can bring some money or send money back home, right? So now my child wants to go and do this art thing, and there's going to be no money coming back. So that's massive, right? That's huge. And then there's another thing that you touched on, and that is that as a child, you're battling to find your purpose. Man, there are people that are older than me, and I'm 50, that haven't found their purpose yet. There are a lot. So for you to find that thing so early on is amazing for me. But the question I want to ask you, and we're really going to delve into the meaning that you put into your art, and tell me why I'd like you to tell me why I found your art so evocative when I first saw your pictures and I started following you on Instagram. Why? What was that? What are you putting into your art that would make me relate to it?
I think being authentic and honest plays a big role in creation. You can feel like, I always believe that art is spiritual, right? In as much as it's spiritual, to you as an artist, to you, the creator, is a spiritual also to the viewers, right? The viewers see things in a different way and they articulate the works in a different way. And the other thing is, when I create some of these works, I want them to create dialogue. I want to engage with the viewers. I want the viewers to, to find a meaning, to find something to relate to my work, whether it's positive or negative. But the most important thing is honesty. Honesty must play a big role when on the process of creation.
So tell me then, what is inside of you that needs to come out and is expressed? Tell me about that journey.
So like the time I moved to South Africa, right? I was coming from a country where there was recession, and it's still now, Zim is still not economically fit, right? So, there was a lot of change, and my experience is seeing a lot of people in the job exhibit, people around, some of them come from the same country. Their struggles, I see them every day. Even now, my studio is in Joburg. You see a lot of people struggling. There's a lot of things happening. There's Afrophobia, there's xenophobia. There's a lot of things happening, in the city, So, like, my work particularly focuses on emotion and motion. And this is what I'm passionate about. And this is what I want to express out there, And I try to emphasize on the idea of the human form, the anatomy, the expression, the reflex movements, which I portray in my work, is the expression of like frustration and stuff. So I'm passionate about anatomy and emotion and motion, basically.
You've made it this far probably because the topic resonated with you. If you're wondering what the show is all about, listen to the trailer at the start of the season and find out how this show is going to help you along your own path to purpose. You've stumbled on a project that is all about purpose. Find out why the guests are all so vastly different, but yet all have so much in common. Hop on board this journey with me, follow the Enrichment project so that you don't miss out on a single episode, and share it with, well, everyone. We are all looking for more meaning in our lives. If the show speaks to your identity or the identity of your brand, consider sponsoring a season. Let's make the circle bigger. Back to the episode, and thanks for listening.
So, I mean, I just have to look at that piece behind you, and I can just see the expression in those 5 faces on the back wall behind
this
you.
Guys.
That one. Yes.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So this is on my current series titled Chain of Command. So Chain of Command is a continuation from a series which I did last year, which was titled Conversations of a Man. So so Conversations of a Man and Chain of Command, it's basically about our as human beings, because in as much as we're different, we share the same, the same aspects of life. Right. We're passionate, we want to go out there and change the world for the better. There's a lot of things, especially from my side. I look at things from a positive standard point, because I want to do my part. I want to improve. I want to also improve other people's lives. I also want to do outreach programs. I also want to engage with I want to engage with positive people alike. This is what I'm passionate about. That's why sometimes I affiliate myself with organization, who do good, who are focusing on the good side of life, in terms of helping people like SOS Children's Village, Operation Smile. Sometimes we do campaigns and stuff. So basically, what I am as an individual also comes out through my work. That's why sometimes, I get a lot of people being connected to my work without me justifying or explaining to them what it means, because I want the work to speak for itself.
And you get that right. I mean, that's my experience. And there's very little. You get it right. And there's very little of your work that doesn't speak to me, and that. I literally can feel the emotion in the work, and that is the most amazing thing for me. Can you tell me about the? So I know that the previous collection, it's to a large extent it's conversations about men and the mindset of generations of men, and it's the challenges incurred by men in society. Can we go there a little bit?
Okay. So the inspiration behind that is, especially in this country, in South Africa, the high rates of gender-based violence, so in as much as there's high levels of gender-based violence, I still think, the problems can only be solved by men, by us changing, by us focusing for the better. Because I think it starts within, because like I say, it's purpose. For me, I think I can say it's the deal breaker, for substance, in humanity. Because if you focus on your purpose, you have substance, in as much you might not be good. Like for me, I'm not a good speaker, I know, but substance will take you far. Purpose will take you far. People want to engage with purpose. People want enlightenment. So it's either it's in sports or it's in in art or in anything, but the power of purpose is what's important. And I think part of the gender-based violence, the catalyst, part of something which is a catalyst to gender-based violence is also purpose. I think so many people are unemployed, so many people are lost, the substance abuse, people drink a lot, even relationships, sometimes people meet at the pubs, and there's a lot of it's subjective, but there's a lot of problems, especially, involving the development of us as men. I think there's a lot to be changed. That's why I think we need more seminars, more skills enrichment. There's a lot of things which need to be done, especially on the ground roots, impoverished areas.
Yeah. It's exactly that in terms of what I see in your art, but I want to stop you there for a second and say that you're telling me that you're not a good speaker.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that you're a brilliant speaker because your art.
I'm not that eloquent.
Art speaks for you. No. Your art is unbelievably eloquent, and your art speaks for you. That's your voice. So it's just to think about speaking differently. Speaking isn't about what comes out of your mouth. Speaking is about your actions speak for you.
Yeah.
Your art speaks for you. And I think to a large extent with men and society and the violence, it doesn't matter how nicely you can speak, and it doesn't matter how nice things look on the outside. Your actions speak for themselves, and that's the powerful part. And yours speak for you. So tell me this question that I've got for you. So you're a Zimbabwean, and you're living in South Africa, and you're making a living in South Africa.
Yeah.
Have you been affected at all by the xenophobia? And are you looked at as an outsider, or have you been accepted? I know that's a big thing going on, and has been for a while.
Yeah. When I was starting out my career, there were, glimpses of, Afrophobia here and there. But, as I cemented my name, somehow it vanished away. Everyone just sees me as, as a local. Some of them, they don't even recognize me as a Zimbabwean. They see me as a local because I'm Ndebele, right? So Ndebele, it's more close to Zulu. It's Nguni. So I can speak, local vernacular languages. So it's not a problem. It's not a big problem. So at this moment, I know I can't say I've been affected with.
I think the other part of that is I think the other part of that is you're not taking jobs away, which is a big thing, and you're not because look what you do. You do something that is so different, and I think what you're doing is it's unifying actually at the end of the day, and it's representative of culture.
The idea of local citizens saying people take jobs away from them, I think it's just propaganda. No, there's no such thing. I think there's room for everyone to flourish, right? You come up with ideas. You've got a skill. You've got X, Y, Z. Like for instance, I can give you like an example as a visual artist right now. I know so many local visual artists who are struggling financially, who have been struggling to cement their name. But it's not about you being a local, right? It's about knowledge. It's about also
quality.
Looking for that knowledge at the same time. Because sometimes people get comfortable because I'm Black and South African. I need to get X, Y, Z. No, it's not about that. I think it's about looking for knowledge and to keep on working on yourself to improve, right? So because it's all about improvement. It's all about, like what I was saying, substance. Substance is everything.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Same for me as a speaker. There's so many arguments as to why you're not going to make it. There's so many speakers out there, but at the end of the day, it's all about you, and it's about how you practice and how you get better and how you watch other people and how you get more in touch with your own, as you said it, your own authenticity, so that when you stand up there, you're being authentic. If you were trying to emanate another artist, if you were trying to be something that you're not, chances are you wouldn't have got to where you are right now. Exactly. So your authenticity, definitely. It just so. In terms of setting this up in this conversation and the notes that I've written down, I called you a soul painter because that's what I see in your work is soul. You're a soul brother. There's so much soul and so much of this. So I actually almost want to.
I'm always asked the same questions over and over again by art lovers. They always ask me, what's happening in your life? They always want to know what's happening in my life because the reflection of my art somehow it raises eyebrows. Like people want to know the backstory of whatever I create. Like there must be something special behind every piece. So they want to know. So, like for instance, I've been asked before, are you sad in your life? Are you sad? Are you experiencing
angry?
a difficult time in your life? Because your work is not about celebration. Your work is about what you call it. It's about reflection, right? So there's a lot of reflection involved in my work. So, but now that reflection is in as much as I'm an individual, right? I always see people around me, so I need to reflect around my surrounding, what's happening, and reflect the contemporary times. That's why we call it contemporary art. So contemporary artists depict contemporary times, modern stories, using their own individual ability, to create something authentic and something something which holds aesthetic values, because also aesthetics also play a huge part, in terms of, appreciation in art.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. So for me, as a cancer survivor, the best way I can describe what you've just described, and maybe that is a good link here, is that sitting in an oncology ward and you're there for hours with having chemotherapy, and although I was in a good space, I'm pretty confident I'm going to get through it. I'm handling my own stuff, so I'm okay. If I had to paint and reflect what I was feeling at that time, it would be okay. But when I see the little kids coming through, and when I see these elderly people coming through, and I see these people that are in a much worse situation than I am, and I can see that this thing called cancer is ravaging people, I could tap into that and paint that, which isn't necessarily what I might be feeling, but it resonates with me. I identify it on a level with it, and so I can then express it. Is that something similar?
Yeah, it's something similar. Like, some of the works is more based on, personal experiences, but obviously works have to evolve with time. You start also referencing what other people experience in their day-to-day, lives.
For sure. Okay. And then something else I want to ask you, and that is, what role do the critics play in what you do? So I know that your work, I've been following you for a long time because I do your work, and I've seen that there have been shifts and your work has grown. In fact, I even mentioned to you the other day, and I said I've been amazed at how you have grown and the art has grown, and it's all been amazing, but it's grown and it's gone through different ways. How much of that is outside influence and feedback that you're getting and thinking, okay, well, the feedback is like this, I bet I must do more of that? Or do you try and stick to your authentic journey?
So, in terms of creation, right, it's more about creating what you believe in, basically. But at the same time, outside critics, I think they play a big role in one's earlier career, But once you start understanding what you're doing, and you have cemented your name, and you've got a specific type of group of followers, and people who really admire and understand the backstory of your art and understand the growth and understand the process, I think the focus will be more on the creation part, because you want to challenge the mind of the audience, and also you wanna go all out and create the best version of Greatjoy, best version of the artist which you want to be, because you can never be satisfied with what you have created before. You want to improve as time goes on.
For sure. I absolutely love that answer for many reasons. Number one, because, and I was hoping that was what's going to come back. For many people, when we chase focus, when we chase it and we chase purpose, we kind of wait for feedback. And okay, if people aren't aligned with my sense of authentic purpose, well, then maybe I'm on the wrong track. And then maybe I need to sort of flip-flop all over the place until I find that people are gathering around my sense of purpose. But then it's not your purpose. And I think the hard part, and especially as an artist, I would imagine, is that you're authentic. You're painting what you feel inside, what you see in the world around you. And it didn't come overnight where there were hundreds of thousands of people who were like, wow, we dig your work. It must have been really slow, but yet you stick to what feels
you have to trust the
it's
process.
part of your purpose, right? Right. And so how long did that take you? When was your first sort of break, your big thing?
Like 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I started gaining traction. I started getting the right people, people starting to collect my art, there's few celebrities, international celebrities, few dealers. I started working with, prominent people in the art world, so that has helped me so much, over the course, because sometimes I think what the big problem which artists face most of the time is the inferiority complex, right? So once your financials are not right and you're frustrated, obviously, if your financials are not right, your social life won't be right. So
for sure.
now, once you have that done, once you get that sorted, basically you become, the best version of yourself. Start creating the best work. Start using the best medium. Start buying the best pens in town. Start,
the best pens.
the best pens in town. So your work also improves, aesthetically, because you are using quality. So that's why also collectors play a big role in terms of motivating and in ensuring that the artist grows over time, because the work, gets better and you start, getting better traction, even in social media, because they can see that the equipment which you're using, has improved, right? You get the best camera in town.
Yeah. So you're good. You're really good on social media. You're good at also, and you're very good at drawing us in. So we feel like we're part of the creation of some of your works. I love it when you do that, and I also like some of the time lapse things that you've been doing lately, where we get to see you like all over so fast, the whole thing. It's great because I honestly I get to feel like I'm experiencing you doing this. And that's great. So hats off to you. You're very good at that. And
thank you.
And the quality of what you put out there. It's great. It's great. I love following you. So let's stop there for a second and tell everybody who's watching this and listening where they can follow you.
Oh, so they can follow me on Instagram. I'm big on Instagram. It's Greatjoy1. Greatjoy1. That's my handle. Greatjoy1. Then on
fantastic.
Facebook,
and they can come and join you there.
On Facebook, they can follow Greatjoy Ndlovu Art, but they can just follow Instagram. I think Instagram is enough.
It's your thing. Perfect. Well, we'll definitely put the links below. You can find it there. So the next thing I want to ask you is the book that and I only realized that when I hadn't even realized that you wrote a book. I saw that this morning. I was doing some homework and I didn't know that. So it's called The Path to Greatjoy, right? But The Path to Greatjoy. I love that. And here's the series, which is The Path to Purpose. And I think The Path to Greatjoy and The Path to Purpose for you are one and the same thing, right?
Absolutely. I agree with you.
So tell me about that book.
So I collaborated with an author. So he's a local author, Untitled Chapter. So we collaborated on this book, The Path to Greatjoy, for my debut exhibition, first exhibition. So the whole exhibition was titled The Path to Greatjoy. So it was a body of work which was more inspirational and motivational, because also the exhibition itself, it was a success. We had. We had so many collectors and we made great sales, and also we managed to motivate so many young people to understand the art business and understand how this whole art thing works, because sometimes, especially people in the townships, they're looking for that spark, they're looking for that motivation, because there are so many people absorbed into the wrong things, especially young people. Alcohol abuse, so substance abuse. There's a lot of things going on. And those guys have got, serious talent. Some of them, they even do marking in town and stuff. So, but now the thing is, it takes inspiration, it takes motivation, it takes somebody to look up to. So also that was also something which we're emphasizing in that book, and also gender-based violence was also something which we were, which we were emphasizing in that book.
Fantastic. And the book is still available, right? I think I saw it on Amazon. Is it available in South Africa?
Yeah, it is available. So it's more of like a collectible book. So it's an art book. So it's different from
coffee table
generic books out there. So it's an art book, with a bit of paintings and stuff. So it's more interesting in that way.
Fantastic. Well, I'd love to get a copy, so I'm going to hunt one. I'm going to hunt one down, and then I'm going to come and find you so that you can write in it for me.
You will get your copy. I have yours. You'll get your copy.
Then I'll swap you. I'll swap you mine for yours. There we go.
That would be great.
Stunning. We'll do that. So let's go back now. What you said is really pertinent and very important. So there are a lot of people out there who have this talent. They've got this thing. They've got this some kind of purpose, but they just don't know because they're stuck where they are right now. They're stuck in a bad circle of friends. They're stuck where they've got no money. They're stuck where they can't pay for paintbrushes or whatever it is. They can't get out there. Surely you had those moments. Were there moments where you were doing a side hustle or you were doing something else to try and float your boat and make sure that you could put food on the table?
I can't remember. No, I didn't. Not even once. Like, honestly.
You didn't?
I remember my first days in South Africa, there are days where I would almost go homeless. Yes, I would almost go homeless. There are moments where I was sleep hungry, like for real, because I have to figure out stuff, and I was super young by that time. Yeah? I was like, what, 21? I think I was 21. Wow. Yeah, I was 21. So you can imagine, so as a young boy, because I couldn't even say at home that I've got problem XYZ because I didn't want to go back. So, and I also didn't want to seem like a failure because they were discouraging me, to do art,
exactly,
to execute art. So now to tell my family that no, I'm failing, this is not working out, or I want help, that would be weird. So I didn't want that drama. So I would just keep quiet and figure out stuff. But also I didn't also want to find a side gig because that will hijack me from doing art. So I didn't want to do that.
For sure. Yeah, that's admirable. And again, as you said, and you used those words earlier, that's the power of purpose. When you want something so badly, you will do anything you possibly can to get it. And here's the other thing, is that a lot of people along this path to purpose start to focus on the obstacles, which is the wrong thing. When you focus on the obstacles, you become about the obstacles and you can't see what's on the other side of that. And I think what comes out of this for me is that that's not what you did. You knew exactly where you wanted to go. And you were so focused on that finish line.
I wanted to change my life. I wanted to change my life 100%. 360 degrees.
That's a very, very big and admirable path to purpose. Okay, so now there's something really exciting happening in your life, and it's brewing right now. It's the two very big things that are coming up quite soon. It's your two first. What? Tell us about that.
Okay, cool. So I've got a show coming up next year in Italy, in Florence. It's a solo show, right? And also we're gonna collaborate with UNICEF. I'm gonna do a fundraising with UNICEF in Florence. So we're gonna do like 2 events, next year. And also I've got another show in LA, which we're working on. So, I believe they're going to be great shows because the people which I'm working with are really passionate about what I do, and they're passionate about, the collectors, out there. So I think we're going to, have a great show because the most important thing is about quality. Quality is very important for the art audience. So if we create quality in content, quality in representation, and quality in aesthetics, I believe that we're gonna, have a great show, and I'm so looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations! I mean, those are your first 2 solo shows overseas,
because
right?
I've done like a few group exhibitions, over the years. So now this is gonna be like my debut solo show international.
It's Greatjoy.
Yeah,
that is so amazing. No, respect to you, brother. That's really, really amazing. Wish you well. And how many pieces do you have to prepare for each?
Okay,
I mean, you're painting furiously.
I'll also introduce sculptures, right? also introduce sculptures because that's also something which I've been working on the slide. So I'll introduce a few figurative sculptures. That's also something which I want to introduce to the market because I've been known as a painter, So now, I think sculpting will give a different perspective, to my art. Different age to my art. So because, as an artist, you have to keep on stepping up in your own game.
Out of your comfort zone,
absolutely. Right. Create stuff which is edgy and interesting. And I believe also my sculptures will be unique. And let's see how it goes. But I'm so excited about this whole journey because, I still, remind myself every day from my initial stages when I said I want to be an artist. I want to be a great artist, a good artist. I don't want to be just a follower or a mediocre artist. I want to uplift people's lives. I want to, create and outreach programs and affiliate myself with great organization, which aim for the better out there. That's me, right? So I want to experience every bit of it. So I need to just keep on working and improving my work. Yeah.
So I think what you're doing more than anything else is that you are spreading great joy wherever that is. So I know the SOS Children's Village, Operation Smile, those are amazing things to be involved in. And that's part of purpose, is that we give a damn. That we give a damn about something that is greater than ourselves.
It's part of growth, it's part of the human growth because like last year we had a mission in Mpumalanga and Witbank. So I had to meet some of the patients, affected the cleft palates, born with cleft palates. So, some of the stories which you get to listen to when you start having conversations with the guy are so painful, So whenever you're seeing certain stuff on social media, you just browse through like, no, it's fine. No, it's just, it's the world. But now we start engaging with patients and the ones which are affected. You start realizing, actually, I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate to be who I am and, to look like this because it's not their choice, right? They're born with it. It's so.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, you grow as a human being. You grow as a human being. It just puts your ego and your self-esteem aside. You start focusing on the real things, and this is an experience which I had to deal with when I was in Witbank last year. So so I also like affiliating myself with such organizations because I also believe they are part of my growth.
Right. I really love that, and it's so true. When we give, we get back. We don't. That's not why we're doing it, but it happens, and we do grow, and we see things from a different perspective. And I would imagine that when you have had an opportunity to again look at something different and experience it and feel growth, you're going to reflect that in your work. That's just a given, right?
Absolutely.
Sure. So now I've got a bone to pick with you. You've been keeping this sculpture thing secret. I've seen nothing anywhere about sculpture.
No, because I want to polish it up. I want to introduce something which is class. I want to introduce class. I don't want to introduce mediocrity. So I'm polishing it up.
Fantastic. I'm so excited. Do you know, there's one thing that I'm kicking myself for here, that I didn't come across your path when your works were still like inexpensive and I could afford them. Now it's like there now, and I'm going to have to up my game so that I can afford your game. And that's great. That is so cool. Just love seeing success like that and people who are so purpose driven. I've got two more questions for you. And the one, I'm keen to see how you're going to answer this. So say one day Greatjoy is not here any longer, right? And you have left a lot of joy on this planet, and you have touched lives, you've changed lives, you've made a very real difference. But if you project yourself to then, and you look back, what is the one thing that you most desire to be celebrated for? The one thing that you most want people, so for now or the future, to look back and say, that is what Greatjoy was all about. What would that be?
To fight hunger and create generational wealth.
To fight hunger and create generational wealth.
So why am I saying
big.
this? So, emphasizing on skills enrichment, this is how we create generational wealth. Yeah.
Wow. Do you see a school, an art school with your name on it, or teaching studio or something like that with your name in it? Or is it not just art? It could be anything.
I just wanna interlink and intertwine all aspects of creativity and involve other people who are specialists in what they do, so we can inspire a lot of people, not just artists. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be watching this journey with joy. I know, with great joy. For sure. So okay, so the last question I want to ask you, and so you've given us a lot of value. You really have, and I think you've added some very powerful insight into this thing called purpose and the path to purpose. But if I had to ask you for a little bit of advice that you could give the people that haven't quite got it yet, they haven't found it yet, whether they're young, whether they're old, they're floundering, what would that be?
Consistency. So I'll just point out words, right? I'll say number 1, it's consistency. Number 2, it's perseverance. Number 3 is hard work. Number 4 is perspective of self. Yeah, perspective of self. Don't just say because you fall under this group, this is true. No, it's about determination, perspective of self. So I think those are the words which I can mention. Then it just clones clones other words, and it grows into this big, inspiring human being. This is how I see it.
I see you as a big, inspiring human being. I do. I really do. And you have touched so many lives. You're going to touch so many more. So please, if you're not like me and you're like a floundering speaker, and you can afford that art, you go and support Greatjoy. Do you also, one more thing? Do you do what is the word when people ask you to commissions? Do you do commissions as well, or not really?
No, because of pressure.
Because that's then not you.
To, go with the demand and push works. Because sometimes I get overwhelmed with pressure. So of late I haven't been taking commissions. Yeah.
Okay, and then just leading off on that. So if people who are following you go and find you on Instagram. How much of the work that you post up on Instagram is actually available
most of
for
them
sale?
Are sold. Or all of them. Yeah.
Most of them are sold. I don't know. Is there anything that isn't sold?
Yeah. In the studio, yes. The other works. So I always take art as science. So you get to experiment and experiment and experiment. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I'm going to suggest to anybody get onto the waiting list. That's what I'm going to say. Greatjoy, it has been an absolute joy for me to have you in the studio today.
You are a big inspiration.
Yours is a journey that
you are a big inspiration. I've been seeing your posts on Facebook. It's amazing how you touch so many people's lives. Your also engagement with people is amazing. And yeah, we wish we can have more Richards out there who will inspire the world and enlighten people, because there's so many people on the dark side of life. They just need, a spark. They just need, someone or people who can just, advocate for positivity. And I believe that you are one of the people out there who's doing that in a great way. And yeah, you have to keep on doing that because it is inspiring.
Sure.
Your story is inspiring.
That was totally unexpected. And thank you. I've got a lot of goosebumps. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. So we're going to meet soon. We're going to have coffee. We're going to swap books. But I'm really seriously excited about watching your trajectory and seeing you just go and go and go and go. Absolute amazing respect for you, brother. Thank you so much for your time. Cool. Cheers.
Thank you for staying right to the end of the episode and for joining me on the Enrichment project. Before you go, please share this episode with your friends and your colleagues. They will thank you, I'm sure. Remember that you can catch each Path to Purpose episode by watching on YouTube or, if you prefer, on your favorite podcast app. The link to my book, The Power of Purpose, is in the show notes. Please go and check it out. It's a rad account of my own story of purpose and resilience and my fight against brain cancer. I finished 6 full Ironman events, a number of multi-stage mountain bike races, 9 Ironman 70.3 races, including the Ironman World Championships, and a bunch of other endurance events, all with stage 4 brain cancer, because I wanted it that badly and getting to the finish line meant that much to me. As a professional inspirational speaker, business and life coach, author and storyteller, I'd love to add more value to you or your organization. Please find more details on my website, iamrichardwright.com, and book me today for a live or virtual keynote, a masterclass, workshop, or coaching session, or please follow my journey on Facebook, I Am Richard Wright, Twitter, The Right Rich, Instagram, I Am Richard Wright, or on LinkedIn. I'd love the opportunity to enrich your team. Thank you to the professional crew at Solid Gold Podcasts for the support, the talent, and the mad skills. And to Anna Hick for her creativity and genius video magic. Thank you. You all rock.